Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 48 of the PTFooty podcast. Today, for now, it's just me, your host, Peter, and Sam.
Everyone's favorite sporting gista. Hello, everyone.
There's no one else,
Exactly. So I'm everyone's favorite,
right?
including yours.
Well, maybe. Nah, maybe. Um, Kevin isn't here for now. Kerry told me he should be back in 20 minutes or something. So we're just gonna wait it out. He'll have his Porto thoughts whenever he's back. But we're gonna start off with Feyenoord Sporting, obviously. Um, I think this is the best game to talk about first, because Sam is gonna rant like a mother beep. No, just kidding, motherfucker. So we're just gonna we're just gonna
You knew
see
I
what
was going to swear anyway, so you're just like, oh, might as well.
yeah, no point. Feyenoord obviously won two goals to one, like I said, with Gelson scoring for Sporting. The lineup was the following: Patricio in goals, Schelotto, Coates, Ruben, Semedo, and Jefferson across the back, with William and Adrian in the midfield. Um, my phone just shut off for some reason. Gelson, Bruno Cesar, Podes, and Bastos. That was really weird. Like my phone just went black, pitch black. I thought it went down, but now we're fine. All right. Sorry about that, Sen. So, what are your thoughts on the game?
So just to sum it up, so my dad has been a sporting fan for over 40 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was so unimpressed with the performance. He walked out halfway during the game. Literally, it wasn't because something else was on. He literally just saw how bad it was going, and he didn't get like watching such a diabolical performance. He just left, and like I would have been mad, but I sort of agreed with him in a way. Just that the way we played on Saturday, like I think we lost to Rio Ave. It might be Rio Ave 3-0 earlier in the season, but I still think this game against Firenze was just an
Mm-hmm.
absolutely awful performance. So actually, apart from Coates, who's got the nickname El Patron from most sporting fans, I always think no matter what game, he always seems to be the hardest working in the team, which is a good trait to have in a good player to have at any team. And also, obviously, Gelson Martins uh, has obviously been our best player this season without a doubt. Getting on to the goals, so that's actually, speaking of which, Vanna, by the way, needs to be tested by league. He is on some type of drug, you know. He's it's just he
Maybe
made
he's just good.
maybe, but he seems to only be good against the big three. It seems, but because I remember watching against Porto, he was making the same saves he made against Sporting, which was you know
Bro,
Neuer like.
I'm still. How the hell did he save that Adrian shot, bro? I was like, what? I was like, how did they not tie it up there? Or I don't know if
I
they.
know,
Oh my god.
yeah, it was just oh, and then so what happened was so like starting 11, you said it was Podence just behind Bastos, which I thought was going to be good for Sporting, but Podence didn't really have much of an impact during the game. Uh, Bruno Cesar, of course, I've got documented history with Bruno Cesar. Jefferson replaced Marvin, obviously, like you said, and Semedo, who I used to really like Semedo, but performances turned me against him. That penalty that he gave away, just why, why? Because at the end of the day, it was a 1-on-1, but Patricio had the better angle than the player did because Patricio was pretty much covering the whole goal. Just going to push him over because that would be a really good decision to make. Like what we said it, me and you and Kevin, I believe, said it, that he is immature, and that's where he is let down the most because he's a pretty decent centre back with his tackling and his heading abilities, but
Mm-hmm.
with that immaturity, he's a liability at points.
I told you last year not even. Yeah, last year's Semedo, when he was at Stubble, he never really impressed me because he often just got red cards out of nowhere, and I'm watching this kid play, and I'm like, there's no way Sporting is ever gonna use him. And then in January he gets recalled, and I'm like, what? But why? Like, I never really liked him. And if JJ wants to win, he should play his best players, aka Paulo Oliveira. I
Probably
mean, what
there,
the
right?
hell? I know,
Yeah.
right?
I'd
So,
like, because for the last couple of games that Paulo actually started ahead of Ruben Semedo, which was everyone liked. And then I think the last couple of games, I think starting at the Benfica game, I believe, Semedo was put back into the team, and I guess that's where form started to dip. Obviously, the Benfica game, I'm not talking about that, but thereafter.
the
So
Benfica game away, right? That's what we're talking about.
yeah, after that is when
Yeah, yeah.
Semedo kept started playing, and that's where form dropped. And then, so Gelson scored a goal as Gelson scored the goal as Bastos assisted him. Very unselfish, like with the header to Gelson, who just finished it away. And then Finance got an equaliser. You could say a Frango by Rui Patricio. I would definitely say a Frango by Rui
Yeah,
Patricio.
it's everybody. He's to blame, but I don't really like blaming goalkeepers on that one. Like the ball just went straight up through everybody.
He had bad vision of the ball. Like you'd
Yeah,
expect, like the people at front post, which I believe was Bastos, to clear it, but didn't really have good eyesight, and sort of like took a step back and fell, which was not the best way to goal to. Well, I'm not a goalkeeper, but that's probably not what you're taught to do. Then,
Mhm.
like I said, Ruben Semedo giving away the penalty. What a dumb decision from a dumb player, from a dumb manager. You know,
Shots.
all of these are linked together, and I really want to just say this: Jocelyn Dalla, right, has been
Hmm.
tearing up in the B team. Yeah, everyone knows this. Even if you're not a Sporting fan, Benfica fans, Porto fans know that he's been tearing up in the B team. So he gets called to the match squad and he's put on the bench. Oh, hey, Kevin.
Hello. All right, Kevin's back. All right, roll with your thoughts though, Sam. Continue. Don't let him distract
Okay,
you.
no, I've still got my train of thought. So Jocelyn Dalla was called up to the main squad, sat on the bench, and didn't come on. We were 2-1 down, didn't come on. He brought in Brian Ruiz, obviously one of the worst players this season. Mateus Pereira, which at least I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, was a youngster, and he's playing someone who I guess you could say needs that. But then he tells Gelson Dalla to warm up in like the 80th minute and just doesn't bring him. What is the point? What is the point in bringing someone to the A team to not play, to sit on the bench? There is actually
Well,
no point.
just welcome to JJ.
I,
You know, that's
I
the
get it.
type of stuff he does. I mean, there's not an explanation to it. He just does it.
Yeah, but I just don't understand. So everyone in the world, like, even if like I would say not even if you're a football fan, you watch a sporting game, you see the left side is where most of the problems come from. The players that are playing the left side. So you've got Marvin, you've got Jefferson, you've got Bruno Cesar, you've got Brian Ruiz. That is where all the problems come from because they're the worst players that play on the pitch. But for some reason, Jules Jesus hasn't gone, even in January when that was still our biggest weakness. You know what? I'm going to keep Zeg. I'm going to keep Jefferson. I'm not going to try and bring anyone in. I'm going to keep Bruno Cesar. I'm going to keep Brian Ruiz. To be fair, but Podence back on loan. Doesn't start at left wing, starts behind the striker. He should be starting at left wing. Very, very annoying. Like,
He's not playing left wing because he's small. JJ doesn't play small
but
guys.
but as a winger, it doesn't that for me. It doesn't matter if you're a striker and you're small. I'd say, fair enough. He's a striker. You want some target men like Bastos in the box. But what does Bruno Cesar do in training and Brian Ruiz do in training to continue to be selected for this team? Because if there is, if he is good in training, I want to see videos of it. I want to see proof that George Jesus is doing what he thinks is best for the team. Because in every sporting fan's eyes, Bruno Cesar should not be playing for the team. So that's where I'm at with the game. Okay.
So is that it?
No, I've got a lot more.
Okay.
Just to. So this week has been busy in the transfer market for George Jesus or Bruno Carvalho, or just sporting in general. So we signed 2 players. First one being Cristiano. Cristiano, not that one. Cristiano Pacini from Real Betis, and Mateus Oliveira, son of Bebeto. I think I've said that correctly.
Yeah.
Used to play for, well, he still plays now for Estoril. Should be joining at the end of the season. So 2 signings. Now, here is what the rant begins to happen.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so we need a clear out of, I haven't counted how many exactly because going off the top of my head. I'd say around more than 5 players, and I'm going to name them here. So Brian Ruiz, number 1, obviously. He's slow. He offers nothing on the offensive side and the defensive side. There's no point in him go to China, go to America, go to Costa Rica. That's the way he deserves to be in a retirement league, no offense. Okay. Second, Bruno Cesar. Exactly the same thing. Offers nothing on offense, no width, and no. Even if he plays left back, he still offers no defense to this team. Okay, so there are the two main. Actually, no.
Number 3,
Castaños.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
No, that's taking way too long. I thought it was going to be number 1.
The guy who hasn't scored since January 2016. We signed him for 2 million euros. 2 million. Why?
Hey, the Poitre scored. Hey, the Poitre scored 2 goals and it cost 6 million. So.
Yeah, but who sees this guy? He goes, "Oi, he hasn't scored since January 2016." We're like, "Oh, let's sign him because he's so prolific." No.
At least blame Bruno Carvalho on that one. We all know that was the Bruno Carvalho signing. So.
Yeah, I guess, but yeah, true. But so yeah, and then to go on, as I said, he just needs to leave as soon as possible. He's immature. He needs to go to a team that I don't know, like he's being linked to Newcastle. I think that would be a good fit for him because Newcastle I guess not a very level-headed team when it comes to red cards, so he'd fit perfectly in that team.
Shots fired.
True. Okay. Marvin Ziegler, he can go as well. He's one of the worst left backs I've ever seen. And we've had some pretty bad ones. Then there is Scalotto as well. They're pretty much all the same reasons. They offer nothing to this team. And I've seen a lot of criticism on players like William Carvalho, Rui Patricio, like the big boys.
To be fair, Patricio didn't have the greatest of seasons. At one point, I do believe you mentioned that Beto should have kept him out of the lineup.
Yeah, I did.
William Carvalho obviously is beyond of what he was 3 to 4 years ago. I think all Sporting fans agree on that. And Adrian Silva is the one that that I'll let it slide better because first of all, he wasn't even expecting to stay at Sporting when he deliberately asked for a move, accepted the move. So there's that. Secondly, he got injured and he stopped for a chunk of the season. Yep. So he's the one that shouldn't get as much criticism, basically.
I agree. But with that point, so those 3 players, 3 European champions, won the Euros with Portugal. Then why have they come back this season looking so unmotivated, looking so poor, and just in
maybe
some
something
cases,
we don't know.
But why? We do need to know, and it's just with George Jesus as well. He could be another one added to this that needs to go because we have taken steps backwards, not forwards with George Jesus. With Marco Silva, he brought up youth. With Leonardo Jardim, who just won the League One Coach of the Year, he brought up some youth. George Jesus, no, he brings in 30-year-old Brian Ruiz, 28-year-old who looks like 40-year-old Bruno Cesar.
Sorry.
It's just, I don't understand. Like, I know I've had this argument on Twitter about who I think the better coach is, and I still stand by that. JJ is one of the best in Portugal.
We'll get to that because that's the
we'll
question.
Get to that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But with this season, we have, do you know the saying, it's like taking one step forward, two steps back?
Yeah.
We haven't taken steps forward though. We've just been on the decline since the beginning of the season.
Constant step backs. Yeah. I mean, you were the first guys to drop points out of the big three, and especially it was a loss. I mean, that straight off the bat just put Sporting, in check right over there. Like, we're talking about like week 6, and you lose away.
Yeah.
Starting from that point, it doesn't look like things are going to work out well. And to your point, I don't believe JG is the type of manager that Sporting wanted. And I've said this numerous times before, that he's just not the guy that you need when you're rebuilding and you want a long-term project, because I don't believe he sees it that way.
I believe, I'm starting to believe why he was signed was because to get get back at Benfica for just something they've done, because that's all our president seems to care about, is not winning titles, not winning matches. It's just, oh yeah, we're gonna sign Markovic because Benfica signed Carrillo, and that will really throw him off. No, it didn't. It backfired horribly because Markovic was one of the worst players in the team. And then, George Jesus, because that will get Benfica to buy a new to sign a new manager, and then they won't be as good. No, that backfired as well, because they still won 2 consecutive titles, and one of them was at our expense. So,
yeah. I mean, there's some things that I agree with him. I think that it's always good to bring on those older players, because I think you need that type of youth / veteranship in the team. But the issue is that he's not a guy that invests on youth players. He used to a couple of years ago, but if you're looking recently, I honestly don't remember one guy that was that was under 23 that he sold in the past 4 years. So I mean,
I know there is the rumors as well, the players coming back to Sporting off loan. So we've got Teo Gutierrez, 31 years old. Obviously, I didn't really like him the first time he was here, but I'm all for second chances.
Better than Castaños.
Teo Gutierrez actually scored. Jonathan Silva from Boca Juniors, if that is.
Yeah, that's not coming. That's not happening.
I think it will. We need a left back, and then Jonathan Silva's.
Yeah, but I've heard they're interested in him, and I've heard he had locker room issues in Argentina. So I'm not 100% sure how that's going to turn out. But that's just what I heard.
And then number 3 is Luli Medeiros, who currently plays for Boavista, scored on the weekend to win obviously the game. But the thing is with Luli Medeiros, I like him. I like him a lot. I don't think George Jesus likes him or Bruno de Carvalho likes him. I don't think he stays this season, this coming season. I think he's either loaned out again or sold, which is annoying, obviously, because everyone knows he's got good potential. He's fast. He can shoot a ball, which is unlike Brian Ruiz, Bruno Cesar. Even if we had to play Medeiros on the left and Gelson on the right, or switch wings, anything is an upgrade on what we have. But according to George Jesus, Bruno Cesar is the best left midfielder in the world, and so is Brian Ruiz. So it seems like if George Jesus doesn't leave, it's another shit year for Sporting.
Mm-hmm. All right. That was good. That was nice. That was interesting. Enjoy that. Kevin, is there anything you want to say about how Sporting are closing out the season with 2 straight defeats?
Before I get started, I just want to say hello to everyone who's listening. I could have missed it. I missed last week, so I love all the people that listen. So I like to call them mi gente. I'm on a Spanish kick, like a Portugal kick. I was watching JJ videos last night, Chenchi Ocho Minutos and stuff like that in his Spanish press conferences. So I'm kind of feeling like that today.
So
Um,
many shots.
so should I do it in Portugal or just plain English?
Plain English, please.
Okay. All right. So, I think Sporting knew that third place was locked up for them. I didn't. I know that they don't think they could have caught second. There was a glimmer of hope, but it was very unlikely to get to second place. So, without motivation, it's kind of hard to, you know, try to get the 3 points. Obviously, nobody wants to lose, but if you're not really playing for much, you're kind of just like whatever. This is just the game to finish off the calendar season. So, uh, I think people shouldn't look too much into it.
But
Fedez
with that
is.
point, though, sorry to interrupt. It's just that
Yep.
you say that it's just to close out the season, but that's been our performance all season. So it can't just be to close out the season. When we played, even in like what month was it? November, when we still had a chance of winning the title. No,
I
we just
remember.
looked poor.
Remember when you won against Williams, like 90
I don't remember
something
when we
minutes
won.
in?
Jesus, that's a long time ago.
I was just gonna say a game that you
Who
had a
scored the
terrible.
winner?
That was the one that I said that Castaños, had a hand in.
Oh, he like assisted. Yeah. I remember.
So I was just helping out your point, saying that there were games that you won that where you played
Even
horribly.
games that we drew. Do you remember? I think it was against Tondela when Joel Campbell scored the winner, and
The winner. Yeah, you wish.
the whole team celebrated that as a win, a draw
He took his
against second
shirt
bottom of the
off.
table. He's another one added to the list, but he's already going on back on the loan to someone like Brighton. So yeah, fuck Joel Campbell. Just add that in.
Right. But Kevin, if they don't have motivation, shouldn't they find motivation though? Like play youngsters, switch out the team, give guys that couldn't play throughout the season a chance. I mean, they gotta make it work. It's not an excuse, or it shouldn't be about excuse for a team, for one of the big three to say, now we lost 2 games in a row because we just weren't motivated because we knew we were going to stay in third place.
I think. I was kind of surprised with what Porto did. Although when I was watching the Porto game, I was kind of hoping that they would play more of the players who are subs. But I mean, Sporting should have taken the opportunity to play the youngsters. I mean, third place was a lock. Second place, they were never gonna get it. It's too late for that. But I think JJ needs to tell these players, even though it's over, play with a little motivation because we're playing for next season and we're going to be watching to see who's going to make the cut because you got to start now. Like, Benfica won Sunday, was no Saturday. Sorry,
Saturday.
Benfica won on Saturday, so the start of next season started on Saturday. So I don't know what JJ's train of thought is there or what his procedures are, but that's just my opinion. Um, yeah, I like for me personally, like I said, I enjoyed when I saw Nuno make the subs that he did. It's kind of like he was tinkering with the team to see what would work. I know Corona was hurt, yet to come off, but they alternated. They took off Suarez and put it Andres Silva. They played Otavio more in the midfield, which was good to see. So, it's things like that you got to do. You can't just be like, we're just gonna finish this game. Yeah, it's over, but like in the right mindset, you got to be like, all right, we're preparing for next season. This is part of our preseason. I know it's been a long season, but let's see. Show me what you got these last couple of games. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, that's all I was saying. And they gotta make it work. Like you have to make it work. You know, but it is what it is. I mean, it's their problem. They gotta work it out. But a lot of changes need to be made. A lot of changes.
100%.
All right. Well, let's move on to the to the Porto game, unless you want to say anything else, Sam.
Fuck Andre Carrillo. There you go.
You could have, you could have waited, but all right.
I saw the video of him singing again. So.
You gotta. What? What's
Have you not seen? Have you not seen the video of him?
What? Which one? Just tell
when
me.
When he sung the Benfica song.
No, I didn't see that. You gotta send it to me. Send it to me. I want that. I want to find it.
Instagram. Hold on.
Send it to me. All right. Well, let's move on to the Porto game now. Then, Porto won 4-1. I mean, I could make fun of them for like 20 minutes, but then they scored, so I took the fun right out of that. Herrera, Brahimi, Jota, and Andre Silva scored. Casillas was in goal. Maxi back from the suspension. Bali in for Felipe, that was also suspended. Marcano and Alex Telles across the back with Herrera, Andre, Otavio, Corona, Brahimi, and Swatch. Kevin, I gotta ask you, did you think that Porto were going to come back after being 1-0 down with everything that was going around, to what just happened?
Yeah, I don't think that Porto was ever going to lose that game. Honestly, I thought that they were going to come back, but I mean, when we conceded the first goal, I was kind of like, here we are again. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? But fortunately, we bounced back quickly, which was good to see. I thought that God, I hate to say it, Herrera didn't have that bad of a game. I thought he was decent. I'm serious. He didn't have that bad of a game. I mean, considering it was pretty much over, that's probably what it was. All the pressure was off the team, although it was disappointing to lose the league again. And it's not just losing the league again. We won nothing. But I know that we're going to be having a season review within the next couple of weeks, so I'm going to save all that for that week. I just want to focus on this game. I don't think that God, Suarez didn't have that good of a game. I don't think, in my opinion. I really liked Andres Silva when he came in. He was running around a lot. He was running to get the ball back. And this is what gets me, because when we first signed Suarez, and then he comes in and gets a brace against Sporting in his first game for Porto, you kind of like this is what we needed. And not every fan, but some fans kind of like brushed off Andres Silva a little bit, and they thought that Tiquinho was the striker, and he has scored a decent amount of goals for the second half of the season where he signed for Porto. He is a good striker, but who is the better striker? I know a lot of people are going to say Suarez, and some are going to say Andres Silva. And Suarez is more experienced, but in the same token, Andres Silva still has he's still a prospect. He's got a lot to learn. He's still young. He could be the future of this club. Now, I don't know if he's going to get sold during the summer transfer window. I don't know. I mean, the hype for him could have died down a bit with Suarez being the starter. I think that hurt him. And doing the 4-4-2, playing along Suarez didn't really work out because neither one of them played well when they had to go out wide. They're meant to play in the middle as a striker. So, that's what the conflict was there. And I know that everybody wanted both of them to play, but it's just the style that they are, it's completely different. Now, if you wanted to play a 4-4-2 with one playing behind the other, that's a different story. I think that one has to play. It can't be both. And it depends on what team you're playing also. I mean, if you're gonna attack, you could do that. But if you're gonna be playing a team like Benfica Sporting, that's the tricky part, because you gotta have a strong midfield and two really good wingers to get the balls in for them to score.
Kevin, just answer this very simple question. Who was champion at Porto playing 4-4-2?
Who was champion playing 4-4-2? Honestly, I don't even know.
Exactly.
It had to be the. I mean,
there's no one. You just can't change a team's MO.
No, I was gonna say it has to be a 4-3-3. That's
exactly. So I'm sorry to cut you off, but Porto was always a 4-3-3 team. They never.
Always.
I mean, there was a time with Quadrians where they tried to play 3-4-3, but that didn't work out well.
That was a disaster.
But Porto was always a 4-3-3 team, and I don't know what Nuno just couldn't realize that. First of all, André Silva and Suarez do not mix. They don't play well together. And it's ridiculous of him to not realize that a 4-4-2 just simply doesn't work for the team because they don't even have the set of players to perform that type of scheme as well. So I fail to understand why Nuno stuck with a 4-4-2 so long. Sorry, cut you off.
No, and I don't think that I mean, for a team like when we played Benfica, I think when we played Benfica in Sporting, we went with a 4-3-3. With Sporting, we hit on the counter. We got a goal on a counter, and the other one was across from Corona. Same thing with Benfica.
Though.
Yeah, with
Sporting 4-4-2, wasn't it?
No, it was 4-3-3. André Silva didn't even play,
right?
Unless he was a sub afterwards. So, what I was gonna say was playing a 4-3-3 because this is what got me because I think he messed with the team a little bit too much, and he kept tinkering 4-3-3 and then a 4-4-2 the week after. The mistake is because we don't have like a Quaresma with a Falcao, with a midfield with Bellucci, you know what I mean, and another winger like Hulk, like those types of players, and Moutinho in the midfield, James, those kinds of players. You need to have a team with players like that who are quick and who are very attacking when as soon as they get the ball. Porto's problem is they're slow on the build-up. Like we hit on the counter, you could tell those plays were designed. Like when Suarez scored the second goal for Porto versus Sporting, because they tried it again. I forgot. I think it was against Benfica.
Yeah, I told you about it.
Yep, and Nelson Smith managed to catch up to Suarez on that play. So, they practice that kind of stuff, but you need to have a striker like Falcao or even Jackson. After Jackson left, we couldn't find a solution. We've had players like freaking Mark Yanko. We tried the Patra and whoever the hell else we had. Garbage, money wasted. So, it's tough because, and it seems like ever since the third-party ownership ended, that's when everything went downhill from there. We used to buy a lot of players from Brazil, and we had a really good scout. We had a bunch of good scouts, and it's like that went away. Like, where did we go wrong? Like, what happened?
I mean, you can't totally blame the third-party ownership because, first of all, Benfica still manages to get a lot of good players, and secondly,
because of who they deal with.
Yeah, but secondly, you spent 20 million euros on Oliver Torres. So I mean, you have the money. If you spend 20 million on Oliver, you have like 20 million to invest in 4 players.
Oh, man, and that 20 million, I'm not saying that Oliver isn't a good player because he is, but I would have rather spent the 20 million on Jota. I don't know if we'll be able to get him back. They're saying possibly another loan, but there's no way we're going to be able to afford the 22 million unless we can get him on a cheaper deal. And the thing that pisses me off is that we will spend 11 million on a player like Adrian Lopez, who did absolutely nothing for us. And we can't even get a player like Jota because we could have got him for at least like maybe 12. I think he's worth around that, at least 12. Even though he didn't really start, he was more to the bench. And maybe that was part of the strategy. Maybe Porto didn't want to play him as. I'm serious. Maybe they didn't want to pay him as much. See if they could try to lower the price because it's not a mandatory buyout like it was for Oliver. So it could be that they were trying to lower the price. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking, but it's just the way that the season ended was disappointing. But the way that they played Sunday, I thought they played extremely well. So, with no pressure, you play different with no pressure than you do with pressure. And I think that
you gotta
go ahead.
So my idea goes to what I said last week. I don't know if you listened to the podcast, but I said that one thing that Nuno did wrong, in my opinion, is to not make the players embrace the pressure. Instead of crushing them with the pressure, just helping them live with it. Right? You know what I mean?
Well, it could have
Like.
been. It's one of two things. It's what you're saying, or it could be whatever he was drawing. They had no idea what the hell he was talking about on his little board there, whatever it was. Because I don't know what the hell he was talking about. You need to have this, this, and that, and this is what Porto is, and this is how we play. And he's drawing triangles and lines and going across and whatever else. I don't know what the hell he was doing, but that's the style of coaching. Is Nuno the man for the job? I don't know. Would it be fair to let him go? I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. Who are we gonna get? The only. I can't believe I'm saying this. The only coach that I would think that would, if he came to Porto, that would win, would be JJ. That would be available to us.
We all know it's gonna happen.
I thought the same thing, Kevin. Don't fall
we all
into the
know
trap.
that's happening. We all know that's gonna happen, boys. Y'all know.
I don't know about that.
See what's different though. JJ at Porto would work because first of all,
It would.
he's got a president that doesn't mess with his business, that is 100% behind him, and would say, "Hey JJ, you just do your shit, win us a title, and you're good." That's the difference between Pinta Costa and Bruno Carvalho. Whatever people may say about Pinta Costa, there's one thing I respect about him. Or two things. First, he never put himself in the middle of his, of the team, and secondly, he never fires his coach without, exhausting all options. So, a JJ at Porto would work because he would have. He would be the boss of everything, like he was at Benfica. Like at Benfica, Wichipieira said, "Hey JJ, this is what you got to work it with. If you need anything, you let us know." And then, JJ would tell Wichipieira what Benfica needed. He'd go ahead and get the players, and Benfica would win. With Sporting, it's JJ and Bruno Carvalho going at it when JJ says, "Hey, I need this," but Bruno Carvalho says, "No, we need that as well." But JJ's like, "No, that's not a priority." But Bruno Carvalho says, "Yeah, it is. I'm the president. We're going to get that player." That's the type of stuff that wouldn't happen at Porto with JJ. So that's why I would be, cautious of him coming to Porto. So just sorry to wave up on that, but there you go.
Yeah, and the difference too is Bruno de Carvalho is a cheap bastard too, so he doesn't want to spend any money. It's like what the Brian Ruiz gave. Where did he come from? He came from Fulham, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave them an ultimatum. It's either like €1 million or nothing, and I guess Fulham was just like whatever and sold him.
I thought we got him for free, didn't we?
No, it cost you like almost $2 million.
What a fucking ripoff!
I think it was like 1,600 and something. Go ahead, Kevin.
All right, so I just lost my train of thought. Damn you, Peter.
We were talking about the only manager that would work at Porto, and I hate to say it, would be JJ. That's where you left off.
Yeah, and I'll touch upon that, like I said, in a future episode when we do our season end review. Next week is episode 49.
We are doing every single club on a podcast. That should be good. Like every club is going to get a podcast, so you're gonna talk the heck out of Porto. So.
Oh, that's good. But like I was
60
gonna
minutes
say,
all about Porto. Sorry.
So next week is episode 49. Then we got episode 50. I'm excited for episode 50. That's a milestone.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty much done talking about Porto here because I know we need to get onto the Tetra. But before we do that, I do have to say, oh God, this hurts. Oh, I have to say, congratulations to all the Benfica fans.
Okay, speak up a bit, please.
Oh my God. So,
I can't hear you.
Congratulations.
No, just kidding.
Just off. All right,
Thank you.
Oh no, this really hurts my leg. All right, so congratulations to all the Benfica fans for winning the Tetra. It's not easy. I was fortunate enough to watch Porto growing up, and I seen the Panta also. I'm really hoping Benfica doesn't do that because then I won't be able to brag that Porto is the only club that has been able to do so. So, congratulations to all the Benfica fans, especially the ones that I talked to on Twitter. Like Carrie, obviously I deal with her every day. The whole weekend was nothing but Benfica. I swear to you, the whole Saturday, all of Saturday,
That's because she's got
we were
nice
locked
taste.
on BTV. We were locked on BTV. We were watching
And
celebrations and
Eliseo.
everything, and yeah, and Eliseo with his scooter. I wasn't in a good mood, but then when I saw him with the scooter,
That's
I just started
hilarious.
laughing. I
Yeah,
couldn't help it.
that was funny. Yeah, I laughed at that too.
So we were locked in. So
Yeah,
congratulations to her. I haven't stopped hearing it. She sings Benfica, Benfica every day.
good.
And I keep telling her that I hope that next season comes around fast. And you Peter, there's so many Benfica fans that I talk to on Twitter.
Yeah,
Timmy,
they got the shout out. Sergio, everybody, we got it.
yeah, Sergio, Neil, everybody that I talk to
Cynthia,
on Twitter. Yeah,
that I sh-
all
that I
my
yeah.
all my Benfica friends that I talk to on Twitter. And you know,
Yeah.
I was going to be on Benfica podcast later and say congratulations through there, but plans changed, so I won't be able to do so. So I'll just do that here. Um, so
All
not
right.
everybody will listen to it, but if they do listen to this episode of the podcast, they'll hear it. So, congratulations on the Tatra.
Thank you.
I can't say that it wasn't deserved because,
Thank you.
I'm not going to get into officiating and getting
No.
help or whatever because that's a
Okay.
part of it. But you gotta Benfica grinded out results too.
And
Uh,
you gotta say that a team that was at least 29 weeks, or 29, sorry, not 29 weeks, obviously, but 29 match days, first place. I mean, you can't. I mean, it's hard to debate if they
it
deserved it
is,
or not. When for basically 30 games, you're a first place team. I mean, come on.
but the frustrating thing is, let me ask you a question. And I can ask this to everybody. Ask yourself this question:
All
how
right.
does a team with only one loss all season and your team name is Porto, how do you not win the league title?
Well, that's easy. You tie like 5 games at home.
Way too many, and all those 0-0 draws up until the
Uh,
Braga
eh,
game, and then
and
coming
even
down the
that
final
Braga game
stretch.
where you got lucky as hell in that game. We got bailed out on that one. But you had Ferians, you had Stubble. Just those 2 games just completely murdered you. You had the tie against Maritim where you shouldn't have tied anyway. I know that's a difficult game, but okay.
Should
But
have
there
won
were
that game.
more. I am going to figure out like the season results whenever we're digging through Portland. I'm just gonna say no, this can't happen. This can't happen. Like Nuno Espírito Santo, so we can move on. But Nuno Espírito Santo was the second manager with the best record ever at Porto, like at home for like recent years. The first is Vitor Pereira, but the dude's got like five ties at home. Like you can't draw 5 games at home. You just can't. You
Yeah,
know?
especially with 0-0, goalless draw at home to Finesse. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. And then a chance to go first place, and that's where it all started to go all wrong, is when we tied at home to Stubble.
Yeah.
That's going to be the game that could have changed the season,
Obviously.
and they blew it. They blew it.
Mm-hmm. But we'll get more in depth to Port because there's so much I'd like to discuss, so it's gonna be good. But we gotta move on, so let's go on
Yes, yes.
to Benfica.
Ugh.
I'm sorry, Kevin, but every day,
I
every
know, I know.
podcast, we gotta eventually move on. Benfica took on Guimarães, or Vitória Sport Clube. At home. They won 5-0. Servi, Raul, Pizzi, and Jonas scored the goals. Obviously, Jonas scored twice. Ederson was in goal. Semedo, Luizão, Lindelof, and Grimaldo across the back with Veza and Pizzi in the midfield. Salvio, Servi on the wings. Jonas and Raul starting again. So, easily enough. All right, so let me get this started. So, the atmosphere was crazy. It was the best attendance ever at the Wolves with 64,500 and something. So there were less than 500 seats empty, to sell out the complete stadium. So that was mind blowing in itself. The team miraculously started off the game brilliantly. Like Benfica never starts a game well, but this when they needed to, they did. Guimarães were all over the place, and I know some people are going to discredit and they're going to say that Guimarães didn't play well. Well, I think that Benfica forced them to play badly. They started out the game winning every single 50-50 ball. They were pressuring, they were trying to score right away. And it's no surprise that Benfica's goal comes out of a counterattack where they're pressuring. So Guimarães have a goal kick. Douglas kicks it out to the midfielder, and Benfica get the ball back because they swarmed that player with like 5 guys. So there's everybody there. And we get the ball back. Jonas shoots. Goalkeeper makes a save, but Savvy turns it in, and that's just like, okay. At that point, I'm like, okay, 10 minutes in, we're 1-0 up. I don't think we're gonna lose this game. But I still wasn't, like 100% sure because Guimarães are a good team, but they never really bothered us. And there's a chance that they have a free kick that they take, but the cross is dealt with easily because the ball goes out to a goal kick. Ederson just bombs that ball 80 yards, and Raul does a terrific job to get it over the keeper and scores. And it's 2-0, 20 minutes in. And never in my life, or any Benfica fan would we dream that would be 2-0 up 20 minutes in against Guimarães. But at that point, I'm feeling pretty confident, and then Jonas misses 2 easy chances, and I'm like, Jonas, what are you doing, bro? But it's Jonas assisting Pizzi, and Pizzi scores, makes it 3-0, and that's that's game over. At that point, when it's 3-0, I'm like, okay, this is happening. But to be honest with you guys, everybody played well. High tempo game. Benfica was just it was a ridiculous game because everybody. It was one of those games where they were just not going to be denied. They were going to push, they were going to score, and they were going to win that game one way or another. And it ended up as a blowout by 5-0. It could as well have been 10-0. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. Jonas had 2 chances that he should have scored. There's at least 2 good saves by Douglas. So that in itself makes it 9. So Benfica just completely dominated that game. Vicky Mans had 1 shot the whole game. It came from Marega. I mean, everybody played really well. And deserving 3 points and the Tetra. I mean, there's not much else I can say about the game, to be completely honest.
I was going to say, obviously, Benfica, like Kevin said, deserving of the championship this year. And obviously 5-0 is a great scoreline to have, especially it's pretty much, you could compare it to like a cup final, because that's what the atmosphere was like, and I'm sure you all agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I did say in the group chat, which did I think make Hugo and Peter cry at the same time, that
nah, just set us up a bit. But I'm here to defend myself now.
I felt like Guimarães didn't. The only reason Benfica played as well as they did is because Guimarães looked unmotivated, and I stand by that point. It's just that you say Douglas made some incredible saves.
He did.
That Jonas
he
chip,
could have
I
not
stand
saved
by
the goddamn
it. He should have, and he could have saved it.
Just insert SpongeBob meme here.
If he took a couple of steps back, and before, like, I know at the time it's like, yeah, you try to go for the ball, but if you take a couple of steps back, like run like you used to be a goalkeeper, you know what backtracking is.
You look like my coaches that never play goalkeeper ever go like, oh, all you needed to do was take a step back and you would have saved it. It's not that easy. Sorry, Sam, but I think the goals. I think it's a very good goal, and you could blame Douglas on other things, but on that goal, I think it's harsh. I think it's because he even got his hand to it, so it's like of course you can think, oh, he could have backtracked, he could have easily caught it. Well, if he got his hand to it, he did his job. He just couldn't, he didn't have enough power to save it, to be honest, So, but go on. Sorry,
I respect that opinion. I know, obviously, we're disagreeing, but I get your point, and that's fine, because we've both played in goal before, and we obviously know what it's like to be in that position. But I still think that the keeper should have done better. Obviously, apart from that, Benfica dominated. The penalty was soft, but obviously was given as a penalty rightfully so. But I still think the Olympic gold medalist in the Olympics next year, Tom Daly, better watch out for.
He put himself in danger. Marega should never do that.
Yeah, he shouldn't. Like I said, it's rightfully given. I still think it was a bit soft though, but
still penalty.
Can't disagree. Yeah, exactly. So, and Kevin did forget to mention something actually. If you want to see a picture of Kevin in a Benfica shirt, go to Kerry's Twitter and you'll laugh for about half an hour.
5 hours.
Well, for me it was half an hour, but for you obviously much better. And I think that goes a lesson to Kevin. Don't make stupid bets. So
don't bet against Benfica.
No, just don't make stupid bets in the heat of the moment. Wait, Kevin, when did you make that bet? What game? Kevin.
And we wait. We gotta play the winning game now.
Do you know, Pia? I think it might be. I think it's a Jabbar game. I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong.
We'll scroll back to that whenever he's back. It seems to be away.
My thing was muted.
Okay.
Whoops! I thought it was muted on my mic, but I must have somehow tapped it by accident on the screen. So yeah, she does have it pinned. I forgot to mention that. God, what? I made that bet like just before the Steel game because I had a feeling we'd take first, and I got way too confident. That's when I did it, and now I regret it, and I'll regret it for the rest of my life. Because that picture's going to be out there forever.
It was a retro jersey. Wish it was a retro jersey.
Yeah, it was a nice looking jersey. I like the retro jerseys for any club.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Sam. I really do appreciate that.
You're welcome. I
can't forget anything.
I had absolutely no part in that.
It's just so if kids are watching, just learn not to bet. Just take advice from Kevin.
You know what I felt like? I felt like JJ when he fell to his knees when Calvin scored the 92nd. It was like one of those type of deals. Because I just want to touch up on the Benfica game real quick. And it usually goes like this, and it reminds me of the teams in the 90s, like with Porto. Whenever you have the chance to actually clinch that title, and especially at home, you're going to come out and you're going to play. You're going to win. You're not going to be denied. You're not going to get a draw. The other team ain't going to get a chance for anything. You're going to win, and that's the only way it's going to happen. And you're going to win by a big margin. I remember one year Porto won the league, and me being a Santa Clara fan, it was a little tough to see, but Porto won the league. We completely destroyed them like 5-0 at home. So, it's games like that where you have to win, and you're not going to be denied. You're not going to give anybody a chance. You got a chance to do it at home. Sold out. You don't want to let your fans down, and that's just the way it's going to be. Touching up on that goal from Jonas the Chip. I used to play goaltender. I played pretty much every position, but I used to play goalie too. The mistake that Douglas made was that he was too far out. He should have never been that far out. He got a fingertip to it, or he could have actually punched it over the bar. But he tried doing a fingertip, and it went in. But, I have to give credit where it's due. Benfica came out and played a really good game, and they deserve to win that game. The penalty, I still haven't seen the penalty because my stream
Marega
went down.
Marega put his hand on Servi while both of them were running, and it was inside the box. That was clear as day.
Speaking of Servi, Jesus Christ, man. Talk about a freaking... Oh my God, I don't even know what to say. Like, he was so far gone during the celebrations. It was so hilarious. Like, I've seen the funniest skits.
You see him dancing?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, he was completely hammered.
Yeah.
He was so hammered. And Jonas, too, was acting like an animal. It's funny.
That.
No matter the team that wins, though, at the end, like, it's funny to see stuff like that. Like, the players' reactions when they get drunk. I remember when Porto won at the Luge, the league at the Luge, they were dancing in the locker room. It's so funny. It's just, it was tough for me to see. And I'm going to be honest with you. When Benfica scored the first goal, I was like, here we freaking go. And then Carrie was like, oh, God, here we go. Because she knew, she saw me obviously getting upset. Then it was 2-0, and I was flipping out. And I was like, that's offside, but, it wasn't offside. And thank you for clarifying that that rule there, Peter, because that I didn't really know. With the goal kick, no offside. So
Goal
and then
kick, corner kick,
the only thing is free kicks.
kickoff, and throw-ins, I believe.
Yeah, so that was my mistake. I said something on Twitter and I took it down immediately, and because Brian saw it, and of course he saw it and he had to say something. But I was like, I made a mistake. I was just being a sore loser, and I obviously didn't want Benfica to win because I like I said before, like 2 weeks ago, because I wasn't on last week. I said that I thought it was over, but there was that little glimmer of hope because it could happen, and it didn't, and it crushed me. And then when Benfica scored the second one, like my eyes immediately filled with water, tears. I'm being dead serious because
Okay.
all I thought to myself was like another year without a title,
title.
and not just that,
Yeah.
absolutely nothing. And I love my club, and that's just the way I am. Not everybody's like that. People are gonna say, "Oh, don't crack a little bitch, it's only soccer." But like, if you love your
It's
club, you
not.
love your club. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
everybody's different. But when Benfica scored the third one, I turned over to Kerry right away and I shook her hand. I said, "Congratulations!"
That's what my
And
dad did.
and it's to win 4 years in a row. And I know that you guys like to trash JJ, but he was a big part of that too because he won
Mhm.
the
Two.
previous 2 years
And he should have
before he
won
retired.
4.
Yeah, Benfica could have won a lot of things. They could have won Europa League, and they didn't.
Yeah,
But
I'm not going that far. It's it sucks because
he's a great coach. Henry Vittori is a good coach,
yeah,
and even the first season of that preseason was terrible. And I was like, what did Benfica get themselves into when they were down by like 7 or 8 points in the league? They managed to come back and win. I mean, you can't. With the team that they had, you can't say it's not deserved because what they did last season, what they did was amazing, and that was an amazing accomplishment. And then they did it again this year. And I know that people are going to say Colinho and so many penalties for Porto didn't get called. Things could have been different, but Porto had that chance. They blew it.
you
So you
know,
can't really
if
blame
if
them.
if you were able to see me, you'd see me like blushing all over the place. I am genuinely happy with
And,
what you're saying.
you have a right to be happy. Um, like I said,
No,
it's
it's
tough to
just
do it.
it's
That's just
finally no, but it's finally good when we put the season past us and we say, all right, screw everything. Every team had their own chance. They just didn't take it. Benfica ended up being the most consistent. They deserve the win. It's a relief after everything we've heard throughout the season. So that's why I'm happy because in the end, and I really like when people say, and this is true, that every year the champion always gets a little bit more benefited. It just happens. Like it's like it's part of football. It's always gonna happen. That's why either you're gonna get a ball like Benfica. I can tell you 2 games, completely different games. Porto, they didn't do much against Setúbal, but they had 2 or 3 chances that hit the post, hit the bar, goalie save. Benfica, on the other hand, had a game. It was recent. It was a recent away game where the opposite team, the opponents hit the post, hit the bar, and Ederson saved.
was that Moreira's?
I don't know. It could have been where it just happened to have
Was it
different
Rio Ave,
phases.
wasn't it?
No, it wasn't Rio. Rio wasn't that close.
They were close. They had chances.
Yeah, but not.
I think when Helder
Yeah,
hit the
but not
post.
not how was. Yeah, they did, but it was all right. You can point that one out, I guess, with Gonçalo Paciência. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not just the ref. Sometimes it's just a stroke of luck where Porto didn't have or Sporting didn't have with when Vanna made the terrific Adrian save. I was like, if that was any other team, they would have scored. So that's the stuff that happens. And at the end of the season, if you can say, they were worthy of being champions. I think they did a good job. I mean, team they made the semifinals of the Taça da Liga, made the final of the Taça Portugal, still to play. Were first for 29. What should you call it? Match days, I guess you could call it that. Not really the word I'm looking for, but and made the round of 16 of the Champions League. I mean, it's gonna say it's a successful season, deserving champions, and move on, start thinking about the Taça game. Hoping this Boa Vista game is more of a game to see some players. I'd like to see Pedro Pereira play. To be honest with you guys,
I wonder why.
not just the name, not just the name. and maybe a couple of kids. I don't know. I want to be competitive, but at the same time, I also want to
What
give a
about
couple
Paulo
of guys.
Lopez?
I guess people want him to play. I think we're gonna lose if he plays. I'll tell Hugo that because he's gonna go crazy. But I want to see the team stay competitive, but still give minutes to youngsters and just worry about the Tasa. Win the goddamn thing and let's go home. But I think that concludes my part of the.
I've just got one more point. So I know we've had this discussion before about video referee, but for one, I'm excited for next season for that to be a thing. Not saying that Benfica have had Colina, but just so there's no more excuses, no more, Xavier shirts, vouchers, whatever, a Peter just none of that anymore. Just the clean league.
I am just scared on how they're gonna run it. If it's run successfully, I'll be happy with it. If they gotta know what they're doing. That's just the only worry that I have.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
And it's going to be a good thing. And just before we move on to the questions, I just have to say this. Like Sam just said, next season is going to be different. We're going to have video referees, so the game should be a little more transparent. I know there's going to be people that say, like, if there's a controversial call and it doesn't go the way that they want it to go, they're going to talk whatever. But I just have to say, like, to every fan, like, no matter what team you support, and I've reflected on this, like, at the tail end of the season, and I'm not going to be a sole loser about Porto not winning the league because what good is it going to do? But like this season, like the way that the fans acted was disgusting.
Man, I just completely forgot something. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Let me just finish this point before I lose my train of thought. Like, singing about teams being dead and players being dead and mocking the dead. Like even like on Twitter, like people argue and stuff. But I get like you're passionate about your team, but like next year, like could we just do better and not like have what we had this season? It was ugly to see, and you don't really see that with like the Spanish league or anything like that. Like there's trash talk, and that's normal. That's fine. It's banter, whatever. But some of the things you do see, and I have seen some teams, like some fans of certain teams. I've seen it this season, way earlier this season, mock the death of Eusebio. I'll use that as an example. Like stuff like that. Like that's unacceptable. You want to argue and defend your team, that's fine. But like let's leave like the personal stuff out of it. I think that like us fans should do better so that way the league does get better. You know what I mean? Yeah. And a lot of it is the media also. They kind of like stir the pot a little bit. But like that's just what I have to say. For me, like I said, I just reflected on it at the tail end of the season. Benfica won. Congratulations. I think that whoever wins, they should be congratulated. But there's always going to be controversy. You're always going to have those few fans that are always going to be the ones that just don't care and they're going to say what they want to say. Exactly. Yeah. So that's all I have to say about that.
All right. So there's two things I want to mention before we get to questions. First one, I'm just going to point out that we're not going to work over on the highlight player of the week thing because, well, to be honest, nobody really stepped in. I mean, Ronaldo scored twice, but we're not going to keep saying Ronaldo every week. So we're just going to move from that. And also, I chose Van as the highlight player of the week again for, inside our league. But unless you guys have different opinions, I can move on to what I'm going to ask Kevin.
No, that's fine.
Okay, Kevin.
Yep.
Yeah. I forgot to mention something during the Porto part of this, Porto segment. In short, as fast as you can put it, without losing a chain of thought or anything, leaving anything out. How did you feel Porto banning the banner that Coletivo, something whatever, wanted to show in the stadium?
Yeah, I saw that, and I saw that banner.
It's not disrespectful to anyone. I
don't think it really was. I don't think it was disrespectful. That's a kick in the ass to the players. Yeah. And I have to agree with them. I mean, the team shouldn't ban stuff like that. Like, that's free speech. They're there every week, week in and week out. They pay to watch these games. They have a right to say that. It's no different than what they did. They went outside the stadium onto the overpass and did it anyway. I know that they didn't want the players to see that, but, like, that's just a wake-up call. Maybe that'll motivate them for next season to be like, all right, our fans have had enough. We need to do something about this. I think it was stupid to what they did and
It
ban them
even
from showing that banner.
brings a sense of dictatorship as well. I don't know. I know that's not the way they want to make it look, but when you're stopping your fans from saying what they want, never looks good. And I just wanted to
Yeah, they
point
shouldn't
out
do that.
this.
You don't want to piss the fans off, especially like a group like that. And I never seen anything that Kulatifu 95 has ever done. They've always been their own, separate from
The Super
Super
Dragões,
Dragões.
yeah.
So, you know, I like to call them the good boys of the two. So,
Yeah. For those that didn't see the banner, it was like something the winning spirit stays or is only in the players. Sorry, in the fans, something like that.
and not the players,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to the Twitter questions, then we've got quite a few. I'm gonna go for if I miss on anyone, guys, let me know because I'm only doing the ones that I liked. So if I miss anyone, point it out. Carl asked, Peter, in your opinion, who is leaving Benfica this summer? Do you think that anyone will surprise us and stays? I mean, obviously, could go the obvious answers, and I'm gonna go the obvious answers. I'm gonna say Ederson's probably gonna leave. Smith is likely to leave. Lindblof's likely to leave. And I think that's it. Maybe we can see other players leave, like Salvio. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves. Won't be surprised if one of the strikers leaves. I wouldn't be surprised if Carrillo also left, depending on the offer. But none too significant. I think it's always going to be. I think that's the way that Benfica are stable enough that they only need to sell 2 to 3 guys. A couple of years back, it was Lima and Maxi that left. Last year it was Gaetan and Renato that left. So I'm expecting only those 2 to 3 guys to leave. If anyone could surprise us and stay, I'd say Ederson. That's the one that I think would legitimately maybe turn down an offer that wouldn't be good for him if he didn't think that he was going to get the playing time. Depending on the team, I think he could be the one to reject and stay. All right. So this question is for everybody's favorite Sportingista, Peter and Sam. So it's for everybody. Who do you want to stay at your club the most?
Who, me?
Yeah, go ahead.
That is a really hard question because honestly, I wouldn't mind just getting rid of everyone. Actually, no. Gelson Martins.
Okay, there you go. What about you, Kevin?
I'm torn between Danilo and Jota.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so one of those two. So
Yeah, one of the
go Danilo since he's the Porto player.
yeah, I'll just because he's alone. It's right. I got Danilo definitely. He's the heart and soul of the midfield.
Mm-hmm. Mine's a tougher one, but I'd say Smith because I believe he was the heart and soul of this team. Next to, if I could, put it on sectors, I would say Ederson, Luizão Semedo, Pizzi, and Jonas. Around that they are the core of the team. I feel at this point, leaving 1 or 2 players out, but those are the core. So Smith would be the guy that I would like to stay. Nelson asks Sam, Mateo shines for Sporting, good offensive-minded left footer. What is the over/under before Jesus plays him at left back? 4 games?
Probably in pre-season, I'd assume. He done it with Bruno Cesar. He's done it with, obviously, very well documented with I think Bernardo Silva played at right back, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he put him in training at left back, but he never actually played.
Okay, so yeah, he probably played in goal, knowing George Jesus, but yeah.
What is an over/under? Over/under, come on, how many games?
I think like a couple of games into pre-season, honestly.
So 2 games, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So another question from Nelson says, "Did JJ legitimately think he was signing Pizzi from Benfica and not Piccini from Betis?"
I don't know. You're gonna have to ask him yourself.
All right. Then we got another question from Sergio. What name should the new Liga NOS club use? Sporting Clube do Porto, Not Benfica again.
I'll let you answer that one, Peter.
Sport sounds good.
I prefer the other one.
Sporting
second
Clube
one.
Porto? Okay.
Yeah, SCP. Could stay SCP.
Exactly.
All right. Now that Bruno Carvalho is deleting his Facebook, how long until he's back on complaining on the video ref is a Benfica sócio?
I don't know. As soon as a penalty is given against us.
Sam, this one's also from Sergio. Sam and Kevin, give us a compelling reason why your team will be the first to break Benfica's hegemony.
Yeah, something like that. Kind of like
yeah, I
their,
know what it means. I know what it means. Hegemony in Portuguese. Hegemony in the distant future. So who wants to go first?
Go on, Kevin.
Okay, I'll go first. Next season, video refs are going to be there, so the game will be more transparent. There'll be less bad calls. So I think it'll start next season. I don't know if it'll be next season, actually. Benfica is kind of on a roll. They're kind of getting hot. They remind me of what Porto were before, so... and it's not the distant future.
You got no compelling reason.
Well, for my argument for Porto to win, it'll have to be JJ. If we could sign JJ in the very near future, not the distant future, the very near future there, Sergio. If we could get JJ, I think that Porto could do it.
All right, what about you, Sam?
Yeah, I think it depends on who stays at Benfica. Honestly, like Kevin said, Benfica have been on a roll for the last 3 years, and I think Edison leaving is a big factor in that. But in all honesty, I can't see sport. If we stick with this side we have now, we're not winning anything. So
no compelling argument. I like that. All right, so I got 2 more questions to go. I'll answer this Sergio one first. Obviously, this is for both of you guys as well. Who will be the first to leave without winning anything? Nuno Espírito Santo or JJ? Yes, I know JJ won the Super Pass up, but don't mention that.
I think they both leave this summer. So
at the same time.
Not at the same time, but
I know what you mean.
Just in the same, yeah.
What about you, Kevin? Who goes first?
I have to go with Sam. I think that, well, if Porto finds a way to sign JJ, obviously they're both going to be leaving.
Both going to be leaving, yeah. So this is funny. That's what I think is going to happen. So
but if they both stay put, I think it'll be Nuno that will end up not winning anything.
Leaving first, though.
Yeah, he'll leave first without winning anything. Yeah,
I agree. Because Sporting just can't afford paying JJ. All right, last question here, unless I missed any. It's from Steph, and hi, Steph. Should JJ stay or go? This one's for you, Sammy, and I think I know the answer.
Yeah. Okay. This old man needs to leave this club as soon as possible. He has poisoned it. He has poisoned, well, not poisoned the fans. That's Bruno de Carvalho mostly. But still, he has poisoned this club. We, like we said, taking steps backwards instead of forwards. The sooner he goes, the better. His tactics are outdated. His transfer policy is outdated. He's outdated. So, can you fuck off, please?
You sound like Gordon Ramsay.
Well, I try.
All right. Well, that's it then. This is a very good podcast. Kevin just jumped in the middle. Was kind of surprising. Completely,
by the way, I'm not
Sam's
sure if we mentioned this last week, but the podcast account on Twitter reached 500 followers. So
yeah.
Thank you for everyone for following. No matter how many people we have watching, we all just do it for fun. The amount of arguments we have is just all for fun. And I'd also like to thank following.
Yeah. Okay.
What, you think I was going to thank you?
I think you were going to say somebody. I think you were going to thank somebody. I thought he was going to say you.
Nah.
We're shouting out Hugo way too much in this podcast.
Yeah.
Now he's going to get cocky.
Oh,
yeah, that London chav.
And screw Leeds. I'm sorry, people from Leeds, but I got beef with you now. Just kidding. Just one guy. All right, but this is this week's episode. I thought it was quite funny. Chilled, laid back as it's been. We'll be back next week to talk the final games of the season. I believe Sporting play at home against Chaves, Porto play away against Moreirense, and Benfica also away against Boa Vista at the Bessa. So we'll be back on next Tuesday, and I'll see you guys later.
Benfica
JJ out.
merda.
Okay.